What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Fantasy Football Game Show brought to you by Front Yard Fantasy here on Better Sports Network. I'm your host, Simon, joined on this beautiful Friday by Tim Wright and John Luke Garofalo, my co-hosts. What's up, boys?
What up?
Beautiful day.
It is a beautiful day. It's even more beautiful because we've got your boy Jay Rich, Jordan Richards here on the show with us. For those of you that do not know Jordan, you can find him on Twitter at your boy Jay Rich. He is the co-host of Wake Up, and he's featured on Sportsnet and Bleacher Report. Jordan, thank you so much for taking the time to come on with us today, my friend.
Thank you guys so much for having me. It's been a long time since I've been on the show. Too long. You know, I was on the show a bunch of times last year, and I've just been waiting. I'm like, where's my call? Where's my DM? Where's my letter? Something to say, hey, Jordan, we need you back on the show. I mean, in these Twitter streets, you never know. People get upset over things that people say. I appreciate Craig in the chat, though. I see Craig saying Jay Rich is on the show. I think he finally gets his first win, which is both embarrassing and encouraging because he knows that I've never won and I always lose. And that's why you guys bring me on, because you know that you can beat me, but he also believes in me. So I feel somewhat slighted, somewhat confident, but I appreciate you guys having me on the show and very excited to do it with you guys today. It should be fun. Poll perception, man. One that I may actually have a chance in. So I'm pumped.
We'll see if Craig, our historian, coming in. Craig has tracked every single game we've ever played on the Fantasy Football Game Show with the results in a spreadsheet. So he knows the results, and maybe you'll enter the victors column on today's. We got Sully in the chat, says, thank God it's Friday, FYI.
Yes,
what's up, Sully? Welcome in, one of our favorite Canadians. We got Victor in the chat. Happy Friday, bro, chachos. What's up, Victor? Welcome
what up, Victor?
He said it's National Fudge Day.
Let's go.
Are the two related?
Unfiltered. What's your take on fudge?
I would say I probably like fudge quite a bit. I'm not a big fudge guy because the thing is, with fudge, it's kind of small doses for me. You can overdo it with fudge, but in small doses, I'm definitely in on fudge for sure.
I'm with you, Jordan. I'm a one bite of fudge kind of guy, and I love that first bite, and then bite number two makes me ill immediately every time. Tim's down there like, give me all your fudge.
Oh man, dude, Cape May down in Jersey. Whew. Love it.
But at some point, it just becomes to be so much. It's just, it's a lot. Fudge is a lot, but it's good though.
I'm not even sure
in small
what
doses
fudge
good.
is. Like, what makes fudge different than? I know it's different, but how do you
squish chocolate together real hard?
Yeah.
We got Dame in the chat saying hello, everyone. Happiest of Friday.
What's
up, Dame?
Welcome, my friend.
We got Marty down here saying, sup, fellas. What's
Marty.
up, Marty? Mr. Scampers is not who I clicked on because I clicked on Herms with a little bit of German in here on a Friday. Guten Tag, gentlemen. What's up, Herms? And we got Scampers, our favorite chat cat here as well, saying there's nothing better than an FYF Friday. What's up from Simon? You should see what else I can give you on a Friday that's better than a what's up. We got Maria in the chat says, if anyone saw that box disappear, no, you didn't.
Classic.
No, you
We're
didn't.
just stealing stuff from my background.
And Scamper saying the paranormal background activity. We'll see if we get any more paranormal activity. We'll keep an eye behind Jordan. That door is looking extra spooky right now.
It looks too
never know.
Neat up there. It's
I know. I'm pretty sure I've asked you this before, Jordan. But is that like a functional room in your house, or do you just always keep it that clean?
Bro, this room is disgusting. Like,
like your bed is made. You got stuff hanging on the wall.
Well, I mean, the picture is nice. I bought that when we moved into the house. With money? With real money. But no, my buddies always laugh because like they know me and they know I'm not the cleanliest person around at all. But on the show and like for all the podcasts we do, no matter like where it is, it always looks clean. And I think the funniest part is when I was doing a stream for Bleacher Report, someone commented, he was like, oh, this guy had to go to a hotel so he could get out of his mom's basement. And I'm like, is that a compliment or a diss? Because you're kind of saying that my room looks nice, but you're also saying I live in my mom's basement. So I don't know.
Yeah, you just
like
now you're in a hotel
what you
room.
see is clean and like everything else is not. Even my desk. Like if I showed you just my desk, you'd be like, yeah, that's probably how it normally is around here. But for the show, for what you see, what you hear, it's got to be good. It's got to be good.
Got it.
I love when people get a little creative with their insults. Know what I mean? Like add a second layer instead of just saying like, oh, you live in your mom's basement. They say like, well, your room looks nice, but you still live in your mom's basement. Throwing it at you, saying, I don't care what you're doing over there.
But you're doing pretty nice now, I guess.
Yeah.
You're out of your mom's basement.
We got Mr. Butts in the chat. What's up, Ricky? He says,
What up,
hi.
bud?
Welcome in. Glad to have you here. Well, guys, today we brought Jordan here to play a game that we call Poll Perception, like he alluded to a little bit earlier. Before we get into that, though, a couple reminders. First and foremost, if you're not already following Jordan on Twitter, you honestly need to fix that immediately. You can find him on Twitter at Rich. It is also below this if you're watching on the BSN YouTube or the Front Yard Fantasy YouTube. After you go and follow Jordan, if you're watching on that FYF YouTube, hit the subscribe button and that little notification bell to make sure you never miss us live at 3 p.m. Eastern time, Monday through Friday, every single day, except when it's not. That's only when it's not. Rarely.
Yep.
That's only very rarely. There's one more thing before we get into our game. We got some good news coming to you from Fantasy Alarm. Starting now, if you start your 7-day free trial of your Fantasy Alarm All-Pro, you can get immediate free access to that draft guide that they're pushing over there. So you can go sign up, get that free 7-day trial, see the value that they're putting in front of you, and then decide what you want to do.
Coop in there?
What'd you say?
We got a little coop in there?
Yeah, probably a little coop in there. So don't let that scare you away. He cooped all over it, but it's still some high-quality stuff that you got going on there. You guys ready to get into some poll perception?
Yeah,
let's go.
I'm going to explain how this goes. I'm going to set the order, and then we are going to get started. The game today is Poll Perception. It is a game that's all about testing your understanding of the public's perception of the fantasy and NFL landscape. I have found 7 beautiful, juicy, succulent, delicious polls online before the show started. I'm going to propose one of those polls to one of our contestants. I may ask John Luke, hey, Joe, what percentage of people chose side A, DeAndre Hopkins, over side B, Saquon Barkley?
22%.
Jail's going to give me a number. Jordan and Tim, your job will then be to tell me whether the actual percentage of people that chose side A, always side A, is over or under the number that JL said. Once you guys do that, you'll get 2 points if you correctly identify the over-under. And JL, you're going to score points based on how close you are. A max of 10 if you're exactly right, and 1 if you're 15 away. It scales up within there. We're going to go through 6 polls, 2 polls each, so 2 full rounds before we go into our 7th and final poll, where there's no more of this over-under nonsense. It's just writing down a number. Whoever's closest gets the points. Whoever has the most points is our champion. You guys ready to get into it?
Oh, of course. Yep.
Let's do it. Our order today is going to be John Luke, Jay Rich, Tim. Tim's closing it out. So, Tim, you're going to go third. Jay Rich, you are right in the middle of this FYF sandwich. Well, I guess it's a Jay Rich sandwich, and FYF makes it.
Damn right it is. It's all about the middle, baby.
It's all about the middle.
Nobody ever talks about the bread.
Joe would be so disappointed if he ordered a bread sandwich and it came with roast beef in the middle.
Oh my God, that'd be the worst. A pile of beef.
Well, guys, we're going to go and get into this. JL, your first poll right away. Here it is. Which side do you prefer in Dynasty? Side A is Treylon Burks in a 2024 late first. Side B is Devonta Smith. What percentage of people chose Treylon Burks in the 2024 first in this poll?
My immediate reaction was to feel like this was a close poll. I don't know why. Treylon Burks, Devonta Smith, I felt like going into this past season, they might have been pretty close in my mind, but not anymore. I think this is going to be firmly on side B. I'm going to go with 37%.
37% on side B. Jordan, do you think the actual percentage is over or under John Luke's guess of 37% on the Treylon Burks and 24 first side?
You like that line, Jay Rich?
It was a good line. I was hoping you were, I'm going to say over because I was hoping you'd go like 33, 32. I felt like, 35 plus. I'm pretty safe on the over. A lot of people like Devonta Smith. They're kind of coming around on Treylon Burks. I'm curious what people think of that first and kind of if that can bridge the gap, but I'm kind of with you. It feels like it's still probably the Devonta Smith side is the majority, but I will say it is over 37%.
Over 30% from Jay Rich. Tim, are you agreeing with Jordan here? Or are you taking the under?
Yeah, said everything I was thinking. I think that late
everything?
First, yeah, literally everything.
That's incredible.
It was eerie, honestly.
Chances.
But yeah, I think they take a look at that late first, and the way this draft is looking, I think that might be enough for some people to be like, I love draft picks. I'm going to take a draft pick. So I think it's closer to the 40-ish range, but I think it's a solid guess.
Well, we got double overs, and Tim, you bring up a good point. It is always next year's draft class. I can only think of like once or twice where people were truly disappointed about a draft class a year in advance. 99% of the time, it's like, oh, baby, just wait for 2024.
Yep.
And the next year, it's going to be the same thing. We got some guesses in the chat, and this is a reminder, if you've never played with us before, throw your guesses in the chat. We'll shout you out if you're very right. We'll mock you relentlessly if you're very wrong. So if you can't handle it, I guess don't put your answer in the chat. We
Yeah,
got Sully down here.
cyberbullying.
We are pro cyberbullying, but only to people that deserve it. And those are losers
In our
that
chat.
deserve it. Yeah. Sully down here said 32. Marty with 67%. Victor coming in with 49. Craig with 35.
Dang,
Scampers
that's
guessing
high.
29. Maria
Yeah.
saying 35. You know the vibe. And Ricky
Nice.
Butts said 43. Also, Scampers coming in saying doesn't specify Superflex or not. So I'm probably way too low.
That's
So there
true.
was no
Very good
specificity in the
point.
poll. I will
Sure.
always
Very good
provide all the details given in the poll.
That
Well,
would
the
change
correct
that first round pick value.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, quite a bit.
a lot, right? It immediately changes the number of first round viable players. Well, the correct answer to this poll, the percentage of people that chose Treylon Burks in a 2024 late first was 61%.
Wow.
Unfortunately, that is going to be no points your direction.
Why?
It was on the Treylon Burks side. Jordan, when you were talking through it, I think you said the words that were the why. The maybe that pick is enough to bridge the gap. I'm curious how people are valuing it.
Wow.
Because it
Yeah.
does seem like that pick might. I bet if it's Treylon
Didn't
Burks
just
versus
bridge
Devonta
the gap.
Smith,
I didn't.
over
I
the
didn't.
moon, dude.
Yeah, I didn't think that Treylon Burks had that much cachet relative to Devonta Smith because I mean we know he's going to be playing on the Eagles. We don't really know what to expect from Tennessee. DeAndre Hopkins as well, potentially going to go there just this past week. So depending on when the poll was, I'm assuming it's fairly recently. Little surprised to see it that high. Obviously, that first matters. People want that draft pick, and the gap between Treylon Burks and Devonta Smith clearly isn't worth much more than an early second, right? To get that closer, that first clearly pushed it way over the top, which is kind of surprising.
Yeah.
Can we separate the pick from Treylon Burks? Because I feel like he's the part where I'm a little shocked about. I'm not as shocked that people might overinflate draft picks because that happens all the time. But I felt like Treylon Burks was going to be a good dynasty value. That's like I answered this poll expecting that, and now that that's not the case, I'm left wondering: are people actually up on Treylon Burks?
That's where I'm at too. This week we saw him running routes, working out, looked good, but I didn't think the perception completely changed on Treylon to where it's like, oh, we're all in because last year it was, oh my God, this dude has asthma. He can't play in the NFL. He's a slouch. He's no good. We need to get him off our rosters, right? So I am definitely surprised to see the narrative flip that much. But this is dynasty, and that just happens all the time.
Are you in on Burks?
Yeah, I do like Burks a lot. I think, for everything that Tennessee isn't, if he's the number one in that offense, he should be pretty good. Now, again, I didn't think he was going to be that highly valued, but if you have him on your rosters and maybe you're kind of feeling a bit of a sunk cost fallacy from taking him high last year, I think you could return on your investment this year because they did bring in a new OC, hopefully a new offense, and then we'll see where it goes from there. But again, Sully's saying it. He feels like it could be a trap. Depends on what you're paying, right? I would probably happily pay Treylon Burks in a late first to get Devonta Smith. And if you're telling me I could get a plus on top of that, then I'm definitely in, right? Even if you throw a third on top of that, I'd probably be down to do that because I think Devonta Smith provides a lot more security compared to what you get from Treylon Burks.
I'm with you 100%.
Maybe it's people excited about Will Levis.
Could be. Now that would be a narrative flip for the agent.
Will Levis raises his value up 10 spots over Devonta Smith. Before we move on to our next poll, JL, that is going to put you in a little bit of a hole here with Jordan and Tim both earning 2 points. We had a question from Grim Fan come in the chat. I wanted to hit up real quick before we go out there. Grim wants to know, what are we thinking about the reports coming out of Chicago that the Bears are unhappy with Chase Claypool? So Grim has always got his pulse on the most recent news going on. Bears have brought in a lot of receiver help for Justin Fields. Claypool was one of the first pieces to fall during last season. Tim, do you think Claypool has a job on this team, or maybe a significant role on this team going into this season?
I don't know. The Bears are showing me DJ Moore is their guy. If I were Claypool and all of his TikTok fans and whatnot doing all that, it seems like he wants to be the guy, and unfortunately, he just is not that guy. So I think that may be playing a little bit of a part in his mentality with the team. So if I were the Bears, I wouldn't have gotten him in the first place. So that sucks. But I don't even know what you can look to move him for, honestly. Where would he go? I don't know.
I don't think you could.
Jordan, how are you looking at Claypool going into the season? Do you feel similar trepidation to Tim?
I think Tim said it in the really nicest way possible because he should probably be on the waiver wire. And no, you can't get anything for him. I don't know who would trade for him again, other than the Bears, which they probably shouldn't have, but they learned their lesson, hopefully. And if he's on waivers or if he gets released, no one should be surprised because he was never really that good to begin with. And so to answer the question, what should they do with him? They should release him and they should move on because he's not going to provide anything for fantasy or for real life for them.
Makes sense. Also, big shout out to our friend Marty getting the closest on that one. The only one really even relatively close was 67.
I thought he was off his rocker whenever I saw that definition. 67, Marty? Really? Nope, I was wrong.
Herm's down here saying whatever you get for him is worse than the 32nd overall pick in the NFL draft.
Yep.
100%. Also, Victor said, classic Tim telling Claypool, you're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy.
You're not that guy.
All right. Well, Jordan, you've got a little bit of a lead here, tied with Tim 2-2-0, and it is your turn for your first poll. Are you ready?
I'm a little nervous now because we were all on the same side, and now it's like, okay, time to be on my toes. But I'm ready for it. Let's go.
It is poll season right now. Like polls are starting to roll in. So we are getting all sorts of great dynasty trades and stuff like that. And this is another spicy one for you. Which side do you prefer in 12-team Superflex tight end premium dynasty? Side A is Travis Kelce and DeAndre Hopkins. Side B is Bijan Robinson and TJ Hawkinson. What percentage of people chose side A in this poll?
Wow. Who the hell's making this trade?
What percentage of people selected side A?
Yeah, Kelce and Hopkins.
15%.
15%?
I wanted to go lower than that, but I'll say 15%. That'll be my number.
Is that where you're locking in? Final answer?
Yeah. I got to make it a little tougher for the boys, too.
Jay Rich doesn't believe that anybody wants that Kelce and Hopkins.
So I'm saying 15% of people want Kelce and Hopkins over Bijan Robinson. Okay, just making sure we got that right. Tight end premium. Okay, Kelce, a little bit extra value there. Super flex doesn't really matter here. But Bijan Robinson, clearly the best player in the deal. Okay, we'll see. 15% it is. Locking it in.
Confidently locking in at 15. Tim, are you taking the over, under, or queen bee on Jay Rich's guess of 15%?
You were confident going that low, and I agree. I think it is that low, but Travis Kelce is still Travis Kelce. So I think it depends on obviously all these trades depend on your roster construction. If you're the win now guy, Travis Kelce is worth 15%, I think, in any poll. So if you throw in D-Hop, I think that just makes me think over, but barely. I think it's a great line. Side B should win hand over fist, but Travis Kelce is the guy. He is that guy.
He is that guy, pal. Well, Tim taking the over. John Luke, are you agreeing with Tim that it's over, or are you taking the under on Jay Rich's guess of 15%?
Tim, you mentioned win now, and that made me throw up in my mouth a little bit. Because if someone made this move, justifying it by saying, "Oh, I'm a win now team," they deserve to be punched in the mouth because that's not a good strategy. Take the Bijan Robinson and TJ Hawkinson side; they can win now too. They got you. I'm going under. I think it's under 15%.
Damn.
We got an over.
I would rather have both players on side B.
You'd rather have Hawk over Kelce? Is that what you're telling me right now?
In Dynasty?
In Dynasty. Okay. All right.
I probably wouldn't go that far.
About win now, JL. God.
I wouldn't go that far. But Tim, I am with you though. Like when I said 15, I was like, well, maybe it's still a little low because it's a Twitter poll. Like someone's just going to select side A because it's the top option, right? Like I need to account for some variance here, but I'm glad I got you to split. That makes me happy.
Yeah,
so.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, it's a good line.
And to your point, Tim, I think you're going to find very few people in redraft who have Hawkinson over Kelce, though there are some who do. I have not. I would be lying if I said I haven't seen people that high on Hawkinson going into this year. We got some guesses in the chat, and they are low and ranging. We've got 28 from Dame. Sully coming in a little bit lower than you, even with 12%. Scampers with 33. Grim might have the lowest answer with 4. Craig with 30%. That's the right answer. Marty, who was the closest last time, coming in with 35. Ricky Butts with 19. Victor with 18. Maria coming in with 30.
Nice.
And Ricky Butts in here saying Bijan greater than Kelce, Hawk greater than Hop. Well, we'll see how this plays out. The actual percentage of people that chose Travis Kelce and DeAndre Hopkins over Bijan Robinson and TJ Hawkinson was 9%. Gordon, you were 6 percentage points away, which is going to earn you 3 points. so close to being within 5, just 1 percentage point away. We're going to bump you up to 5. JL, that is going to earn you 2 points for correctly picking the under. That means Jordan is in the lead with 5 points, but Tim and JL, you guys are right behind him with 2.
Look at that sandwich. Super symmetrical. 2 even slices of 2s.
And the meat in the middle.
And then a big old 5 in the middle.
Don't you guys hate when you get bread and you pull out a slice and there's just like a giant hole in it? You know what I'm talking about? Like in the middle of a loaf of bread. You got 2 slices of bread, you pull it out, and somehow when the bread baked, they just made you like bread that's half bread.
I guess all my mayo is going in that hole.
Yeah, exactly.
Finger accidentally goes in there straight into the peanut butter.
That's exactly what happens. It's just peanut butter everywhere.
Again.
You can't do mayo with that kind of bread. That's too squirty and squishy.
Oh,
that's going to squirt everywhere.
Oh.
Well, Tim, we are on to your first poll. Would you like to continue talking about squirting mayonnaise, or would you like to hear your first question?
I don't know. There's a lot to talk about, but we can move on.
Okay, we'll hit mayonnaise after this next
All
one.
right.
Tim, what I want to know is which side would you prefer in Dynasty? Side A, Christian Kirk, or side B, Elijah Moore? What percentage of people said Christian Kirk in this poll?
I don't know.
Jordan's just laughing himself up over there.
That's brutal, man.
This is dumb.
That's because you know the answer you want to give, but you know that answer is definitely wrong.
Yeah, it's absolutely a trap.
Marty down here saying, let's go, Jay Rich, my Canadian bro.
Let's go.
And also Sully letting me know that's a bagel. Simon, that would be a bagel. Why isn't that a problem with bagels?
Oh,
it's true.
I don't know.
Because I expect it.
Yeah, I know where to put my
And
fingers.
you know what? Like a good bagel, there's no hole in the middle. That shit's closed up. You know what I mean? Like a good bagel, nothing's coming out of that hole. There's a line where the hole was. Exactly. Tim, I'll put your poll back up there. My bad. I accidentally took it down. What's it going to be? What percentage of people prefer Christian Kirk?
I don't know. I haven't looked into either of these guys at all this offseason, so I'm going to go with 50.
50% on the Christian Kirk side.
All right.
JL. Tim taking it right down the middle. You're taking the over. More people want Christian Kirk?
Yeah, I think more people are going to want Christian Kirk because he did it last year. It's just recency bias.
What about you, Jay Rich? What do you think?
Yeah, easy over here. I thought you'd make it a little harder, Tim. Easy over.
Maybe.
Easy over.
We got 50% and double overs, though. Careful with that confidence. First round, it almost got you guys.
Don't like that coming from the guy with the answer.
We got some questions in the chat. Craig with 68%. Marty coming in with 44%. Grim said 0. Does not like Christian Kirk. Rick
no love for Ridley.
31%. Victor was 65%. Dame exactly in line with you, Tim, as well as Sully at 49%. And Mr. Scampers saying 28%. And Maria said, I'm 0 for 2, so whatever Jay Rich says.
It's that Elijah Moore hype, man. It'll get you. It'll get you, and it'll get the Twitter polls. That's the only reason why I'm like, oh, man, I don't know. But it should be over if I believe that Twitter is competent, which
that's your first mistake.
That's a big if. Yeah, that's a big if. But we'll see. Let me
Just
know
as a small sample size, I'd say 3 out of the 4 Twitter accounts present on this stream are not competent.
Oh, yeah. I'm 3 out of those 4.
Yeah, and I'm the other one. Well, the actual percentage of people that chose Christian Kirk over Elijah Moore in this poll was 65%. Tim, that is right within that range. That's going to earn you an additional point, bringing you up to 3. JL is going to bring you to 4 and J Rich up to 7. But this is a super close game. Anybody's game. It can change with any given poll. Jordan, I did want to ask you. Oh, sorry, go ahead, JL.
Jordan, what was the first line that popped into your head when you saw this poll?
At first, it was like 80%. But then I was like, okay, Elijah Moore has a lot of hype. And actually, in my head, I kind of came closer to about 65. I thought Tim would say 65, 70. I expect him to come in around 65. So I was prepared to say under. But when he said 50, I was like, it has to be Christian Kirk here. I did think it would be closer than I was expecting because, again, Elijah Moore had 10 targets last year. But this year, we're back in. We're back in.
I think probably Ridley is what happened.
Yeah, for sure.
Ridley's going to be the guy. That's it.
I'm with you, Tim. I think I would have expected closer to 50% because of the hype around Ridley. Like he's already being drafted ahead of him, even though we haven't seen him play in a couple years. And we saw Christian Kirk put together an incredible year last year, right? So just the fact that he's getting drafted earlier, I was with you. I thought this might be a little bit lower. But Victor in the chat,
Oh, man.
65% getting it right on a Friday.
Let's go.
There you go.
Take your shirt off and run around the yard, Victor.
Send a fit to JM.
All right. Well, we're going into round 2 now. After that, the score is 7-4-3 with Jay Rich in the lead. Jail and Tim not far behind. Joe, we're going to get into your second poll momentarily here. But before we do, I need to remind all of our contestants that there is now a new mechanic in this game.
Oh, no.
Instead of just over, under, and queen bee, there are now 2 more options available to you on your turn. You can choose to guess way over or way under as well. If you think your opponent's guess is 15 percentage points or more away from that guess, choose that way over or way under option. But it is double or nothing. So if you get it right, if they are 15 percentage points away, you're going to get 4 points for that. But if they are only, say, 11 percentage points away, you're going to get 0 points. So there's a little bit of a risk, but it's a comeback mechanic if you so choose to use it.
Oh, damn it. I have to queen bee somebody this time. You guys better be close.
You guys better be good at this game. John Luke, you ready for your next poll?
Yeah.
Okay, Jail, here's what I want to know. Who is the second best wide receiver in the NFC North? Side A, Christian Watson. Side B, DJ Moore. Side C, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Or side D, Romeo Doubs. What percentage of people said side A, Christian Watson?
Second best wide receiver. Who is
Where's
asking
Darnell
this
Mooney?
question? Yeah, where the heck? is
I'm
Darnell
going to kill
Mooney?
you, Tim.
All right, Christian Watson, DJ Moore, Amon-Ra St. Brown, or Romeo Doubs. I gotta believe Amon-Ra St. Brown wins this poll. Even the haters have to admit that one. Christian Watson is tough, man. I feel like he's the toughest guy to try and figure out here because he had those 5 touchdowns that just ruined everybody's perception of him. I'll assume a 25% split here to start out. And then I'll go, no way Romeo Doubs got anything. I'll go with 28%.
28% on Christian Watson. Jordan, do you think the actual percentage of people that chose Christian Watson as the second best NFC North wide receiver was over or under Jail's guess of 28%?
I'm going to say under. And the main reason why is because I don't think anyone who selected the poll actually read that it said second best. Because if they didn't, then they probably would have selected either DJ Moore or Amon-Ra St. Brown. And those would still be my 2 best options if we're going second best. So I think it's probably under. I think he should be closer to like 10%. But I'm curious now. I don't know where it's going to land, but that's kind of my thought process. I feel like if I'm seeing a poll like that with those 4 names, I'm smashing Amon-Ra every time. And he should probably win this poll hands over fist. So I'm curious if they actually read the question or not, but I would go under 28%.
How I did read this was under the assumption that Justin Jefferson is the best wide receiver in the NFC North.
Too.
Not asking out of these guys, but
it's fair too.
Different ways. Tim, are you taking the over or under on Jail's guess of 28%? Jay Rich did take the under.
Or way over or way under.
I'm going to go way under. I mean, y'all said it. B and C should account for probably
80,
at least 80. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So if some crazy people did Dubs, maybe like 3%.
Someone would, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully that's enough span. Hopefully.
There's nothing worse than after you set the line, somebody comes out with some like piece of logic that just makes sense. That you just didn't think of.
Yes, I'd like to change my answer.
Yeah. And then you're just sitting there the rest of the time like, yep.
Just like a true sports book. Yep, I messed that one up. Can I change the line?
It's going to be like 14% JL. Don't worry.
Well, we got people in the chat with some guesses. 7% from Victor. Sully right in line with UJL with 29%. Mr. Scampers with 8. And Rick's agreeing with the cat with 8% as well. We got Marty in here doubling their answer with 16. And Dame still staying pretty low with 11. Craig coming in with 14%.
No.
And Grim's Queen being UJL.
Ooh.
All right.
Pays off.
Well, the actual percentage of people that chose Christian Watson in this poll was 8%.
No.
Nice.
JL, you were 20 percentage points away. It was going to be no points for you.
Good job,
Rick
Tim.
Butts and Mr. Scampers were exactly on the money right there.
That's 3 people in the chat. That's crazy.
There you go. Meaning, Tim, you are going to get 4 points for correctly getting that one, bringing you up to 7 points. J. Rich, you're going to get 2 points for picking the under on that one. And JL, after that, you have found yourself in a little bit of a hole. The score is 4-9 to 7. John Luke, before we move on from this one, though, who do you think is the second best wide receiver in the NFC North?
Clearly Christian Watson. I mean, you guys see all the touchdowns? Come on.
I'll give you guys the breakdown of what this poll turned out to be. You were 100% right. Amon-Ra St. Brown not only won, but ran away with it. 77.5% of the votes went to Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Holy cow.
DJ Moore was second with 13.6% of the vote, followed by Christian Watson at 8%. And Romeo Doubs got less than 1% of the vote in this poll, 0.8%.
Damn.
Listen, I love Amon-Ra St. Brown as much as the next guy, but him and DJ Moore are closer together in skill, for sure.
Not in fantasy, though.
Not in fantasy, but just in second best wide receiver in wide receiver talent rankings, they're much closer in my mind.
Yeah.
I'm with you. But I think the results of this poll, it checks out with how people feel about these players, right? Like we see the Amon-Ra St. Brown hype. We see the DJ Moore. I guess he's bumped up a little bit right now, but it's not like genuine excitement about him in that offense, I feel like.
Is he bumped up?
I feel like I'm the only
his bump
one.
came, and now it's just a slow decline, right? A slow
I'm with
decline
you, Tim.
for DJ Moore.
It's the best quarterback he's ever had. And he's been 1,000 yards and like 8 touchdowns every single year. Like he's done it with nothing. With a box of scraps.
Yeah.
I'm very, very with you, Tim. And Justin Fields, I was doing some additional research on that Bears offense over the weekend. And Justin Fields, I was unaware of this, out of all quarterbacks who started more than 10 games, there was not a single quarterback who threw the ball less per game than Justin Fields. Nobody, not even Marcus Mariota in that Falcons offense. Justin Fields threw the ball less than 22 times a game this entire season. That's just not going to happen again with the moves that they made. So I think DJ Moore's a value this year. I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure Justin Fields had like the lowest passing prop of all time at like 132 yards or something last season.
Insane. For a starting quarterback.
Is he going to rush for more than he passes?
Legit,
Probably.
Yeah. Like a plus 200 on that. People would take it.
Also, Rick Butson here saying DJ Moore wins this poll next offseason. I can see that.
What?
That's in line with what we're saying about maybe this Bears offense taking
the Lions have to just fall apart for that to happen.
Yeah.
Or the Bears have to take a big step forward offensively, change that offensive style. All right, JL, unfortunately, no points for you on that turn, but we are on to Jordan. You got some time to make that ground up. Jay Rich, you ready for your next poll?
I'm ready. Feeling good.
Okay.
We'll see when I get this question.
Okay, well, here is your next poll. Which side would you prefer in Dynasty? Side A, Breece Hall, or side B, Chris Olave? What percentage of people chose Breece Hall in this poll?
I love these kinds of trades.
That's a cool one.
Yeah.
Man. No format here? Can I get no point per carry? No PPR, maybe? No.
The context of the poll that was given was Dynasty value check. Was all that was said in the poll, and it was not a thread. It was a single poll.
Okay, so this is pretty even for me. I think that the value probably leans Chris Olave in a lot of leagues, but in a general Twitter poll, I feel, people selected Breece Hall. I'm going to say 39%. I was going to go a little bit higher, but I think maybe with the injury and maybe with you guys overthinking it, I can catch you slipping a little bit, but it should be very close. I was going to go 50%, but I want to pick a side here. I'm going to say 39%, and it probably will be over, but maybe I'm just trying to get in your heads. Discuss.
Jordan trying to plant something in there. 39%. Tim, are you taking the over, like Jordan suggested, or the under on his guess of 39%?
I don't know. I honestly hadn't thought about it until you asked me just now. So good luck making me overthink about it.
You have to think to overthink.
Shoot. Hadn't thought of that.
Duh. You're not thinking.
People are so hyped on Breece Hall. And Olave did have a solid season, but with nothing around him. So maybe it comes back, but I love that guess, and I decided that I was going to queen bee and probably screw myself out of this game, so I'm going to queen bee it, baby.
This him taking the queen bee. Loved your guess of 39%. JL, are you going to hedge and take the queen bee as well, or take the opportunity to make up ground in case they're wrong? You'll be left in the dust if they're right, but this also presents an opportunity to maybe gain some points. What are you going to do here?
They can only get 2. Well, I guess you could get 4.
I could get 4. I could get 10.
Yeah.
I want a queen B. Man, this line feels tricky because I feel like Breece Hall is going to go ahead of Chris Olave most of the time in Dynasty. But Jordan set a line that was like low enough that I'm really struggling to determine whether I want to go way over or just over. I'll go way over. Let's go. Lock it in.
JL taking the way over on that one.
I'm overthinking it. Let's go.
Scampers in here absolutely loved the discuss at the end over there. Maria liked it too. We got some guesses in the chat. Victor coming in with 44%. Marty thinks it's 38. Dame coming in with 77, a little bit higher. Greg with 52%.
All right.
Sully with 51. Ricky Butts with 56%. We got Grim Fan guessing 65. Scampers with 33. Albert with 36. And Sully saying, this one hurts my head.
Why are they all 35 or 50?
Roger's just going to give it to the Randall Cobb anyway.
Gosh. Mr. Scampers said Tim wasn't thinking about the question because he was singing the Queen Bee song in his head.
It's true.
How's it go, Tim?
You'd have to be there.
Of course, yeah. Of course. It's one of those songs. That's a cool song. This doesn't quite translate over sound. It has to be in your head.
Yeah.
Well, guys, the actual percentage of people that chose Breece Hall over Chris Olave in this poll was 53%.
No.
That is 14 percentage points away.
Let's go.
Are you kidding me right now?
Let's go.
Are you effing kidding me right now?
We got him. We got him.
Jay Ridge getting 1 point for that. Tim is going to get 2 points for that. And
no,
JL
I got
was
nothing.
One
I get nothing.
person. Oh, Tim gets nothing. Dale was one more person voting away from being on the other side of that one.
Worth it.
Let's go. Set the
perfect
line.
If it makes you feel better, it was 53.4% even. So an additional 0.1%, we would have rounded up and you would have gotten those way over points.
It definitely did not make me feel better.
Jordan, you snuck in there and got a point with that one, extending your lead 10 to 7 to 4.
I love it.
Joe, I'll give you a second to cool down before we come to you. Jared, you talked a bit about Breece Hall and the hype around him. Are you buying into him as an elite dynasty running back?
Yes, I think the issue is that can we expect it right away? And that's why I was kind of leaning on the underside, like people preferring Chris Olave. Not that I thought that we should prefer Chris Olave to Breece Hall, because I probably wouldn't do that. I would have probably guessed right around 45 to 50% or so, like I mentioned. But I wanted to set a trickier line because I figured it'd make it more fun. And obviously, JL, you had to think, do you go way over or just over? And I told you I'd probably go over. But, you got some ground to make up. Tim went for the Queen Bee, didn't work out. But, yeah, I do like Breece Hall a lot this year. I'm just curious, again, when do we see it? Will it be right away, or will we have to wait on it a bit? They drafted a running back who I'm not so concerned about. But when you want this workhorse, do-it-all running back, can it happen so quickly off an ACL injury? We'll see. But I think by the end of the year, Breece Hall will be, a top running back once again.
Oh, you're muted.
Damn.
They just had to draft Israel Abanikanda, right? I feel like that was a player like right pre-draft. Joey started getting me excited about him. I started seeing the hype. I started buying in like, okay, this could be a guy that you snag like beginning of the second round, end of the second round, depending on where he goes. And then he lands behind Breece Hall. Like about as young and about as studly of a dynasty running back as you could land behind. That hurt my feelings a little bit. Tim, you mentioned Chris Olave having a decent season last year, but I know you're also heavily drafting Michael Thomas going into this season. Is that more of just a where he's going in the drafts, or do you think there's a chance Michael Thomas outperforms him this year?
I mean, it's definitely just a value thing. With Derek Carr, he had Devontae to throw to. He had the superstar. Is Chris Olave there yet? I don't know. Michael Thomas has been that guy. Will he be that guy again? I don't know. Probably not, but he might act like it, and he might demand that kind of volume. So I think the route is there for him to get his way back up to his former pace. Maybe not all the way up, of course, but get on the road back to that relevance. So I think that's going to take a chunk out of Olave's deal, but we'll see. I like Olave. Maybe not as much as Breece Hall in this poll, but I think he's a good value.
I'm with you, Tim. I'm with you on Michael Thomas maybe taking a bigger chunk than people are expecting. The times we have seen the issue has been him not playing well. He has played well when he's played. He just hasn't been on the field. So if we're expecting a healthy Michael Thomas, I am expecting maybe not as much volume towards Chris Olave. Jordan, are you buying into Chris Olave fully? Where does he land for you as a dynasty wide receiver? Like a top 10 guy, top 20?
I think he's a little overvalued because not just Michael Thomas. I just think, what we're looking at for his ceiling probably isn't quite what people expect. When you look at him, you look at Amon-Ra, you look at Garrett Wilson, CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, some of these guys, they're all pretty similar in terms of their value. But Chris Olave feels like the guy who could easily lose market share to a Michael Thomas, to another receiver. He's phenomenal, and I love the talent, but I think he's probably a little overvalued. Like him, I don't think I'm buying him at cost, but I still do like the talent. He probably still will be good for a long time. I think it was JJ Zacharyson who put out a stat about receivers who have 1,000 yards their rookie year. They usually do pretty good the following year too. So I wouldn't expect him to fall off and drop off significantly, but I don't know if the ceiling and the price really matches up for Chris Olave right now in terms of his dynasty value.
Jail, do you think Alvin Kamara missing potentially time at the beginning of the season is beneficial to players like Chris Olave and Michael Thomas, or does the offense suffering just hurt those guys overall?
I think it's too complicated to really pull a direct connection here that it's going to be great for Olave. Yeah, maybe it does help him in that they can't go to the running back more and they're forced to lean on the wide receivers. But again, then you have defenses who are not stupid. They see that as well and they change their strategy. So again, I don't think it really changes much. It doesn't change much in terms of his value. It just changes his situation, maybe how he gets it done in the short term.
Also, shout out Craig, 52% on that
Nice.
one. Only 1 percentage point away. So
Nice.
Close to another one fully spot on. And the
I
chat saw
forgot
it.
about what just happened.
I was going to say the chat saw it, and I just saw it. The box made its way back into screen. All of a sudden, I looked up, and there was just arms reaching over holding a box. I just saw an arm and then a box get left there.
I just saw the box. I didn't see the arms. I just looked at the screen. I was like, why is there a box back there now?
Maria's Hands made a cameo appearance. Yesterday, we had Joey's feet. Today, we had Maria's Hands. Stay tuned on Monday to see what limbs we show you then. Who knows what appendage? Damn it, you beat me to appendage by half a second. It was way better than limb.
I've been practicing.
All right. You've been practicing saying appendage? It is a tough word to say. Tim, you ready for your last
appendage?
Oh, yeah. Great job.
Nailed it.
100%.
That was so good.
Is that okay?
First
Cool.
try.
You're getting so much better at that.
I know. It's taken so long.
Tim, here is your last poll of the game. Before we get into the final round, what I want to know is, which side do you prefer in 12-team Superflex tight end premium dynasty? Is it side A, Kyle Pitts and Jordan Addison, or side B, Najee Harris, Jamison Williams, and Dalton Kincaid?
Dude,
what percentage of people chose the Pitts and Addison side?
Sometimes it feels like fantasy managers just give themselves problems to solve.
Right?
I'm not a mathematician. Oh, God.
Right? Like this guy was just laying in bed with not a problem in the world, and then he made one for himself.
Shoot. Okay. Well, Najee Harris throws me for a loop every single time. Jamison Williams, I'm super high on him. Dalton Kincaid, I don't know honestly much about. Haven't valued him too much, but tight end premium, people will see tight end premium. That's a tight end. Dope. Kyle Pitts should be the best player in Dynasty tight end premium for sure for me. So he's got that side. Jordan Addison, I'm hyped about, but rookies make me nervous. Najee, again, no idea. Great talent. Jamison Williams, I love him. First catch ever is what dreams are made of. First catch, touchdown. Just leave the NFL after that. That's beautiful.
Well, he's trying.
I know.
He's trying. He had his anytime touchdown every game after that. Never came about
though. God, with all these players involved, I'm probably going to be a little bit of a coward here. And I'll take side A just by a decent portion. We'll say 57%. And it's a bunch of pieces on the right, but Najee is an older back. Jamison Williams, he's a gamble. And then Dalton Kincaid, I don't wishy-washy on those tight ends. So
57% locking that in, Tim?
Yeah.
We got 5-7 from Tim. John Luke, is the actual answer over or under Tim's guess of 57%?
I thought that was such a good guess.
And now what do you think?
And now I'm not so sure. Najee Harris, Jamison Williams, and Dalton Kincaid. I don't think that's enough. I don't think it's enough for Kyle Pitts and Jordan Addison in a tight end premium dynasty league. I'm going to go way over.
JL taking the way over on this one. Jay Rich, you taking the over, under, way over, or the queen bee on Tim's guess at 57% on the Pitts and Addison side of this trade?
Tim, I think you did a great job. I think that Kyle Pitts is the most overrated tight end in Dynasty, and I think Dalton Kincaid is number 2. So that's kind of good for me. Love Jordan Addison.
Suck it, Coop.
Najee Harris. No one wants a running back, especially an old one. Jameson Williams is suspended. I'm gonna say over, just barely. It's really, it could be under though. It's really close to me. I'm gonna say just barely over. That's not a category, but I will say over 57%.
We've got just barely over and way over, and some guesses in the chat. Craig was 69%. Victor coming in with 58%. Dame thinks it's 59. Sully was 63. Marty coming in at 41 and Grim down at 37. We've got Albert coming in at 54%. But JL, this is more what you're looking for, 72%. We got Ricky Butts with 33. And Mr. Scamper is saying Jameson Williams is doing his best. He's just doing his best.
He's doing
his best. And Rick Butts saying he's a real gamble.
I love Jambo. I love him too.
Absolute gamble. Well, guys, the actual percentage of people that chose the Kyle Pitts and Jordan Addison side of this trade over Najee Harris, Jameson Williams, and Dalton Kincaid was 61%. Tim, that is within 5 percentage points, which is going to earn you 5 points right here at the end.
Tie it up, baby.
Bringing you up to 12, and Jordan also bringing you up to 12, meaning going into this final round, the score is JL 4, J Rich 12, Tim 12. JL,
can I get a JL solo cam real quick? Is that possible? So we can just look at him in complete shambles.
No, not this guy. The other guy. The other guy. Get the other guy up there. There we go.
JL, talk to the people. Talk to the people. Tell them how you're feeling. It's okay.
You could still win it.
You could.
A third of the points of my opponents, but I'm really only a fifth of the man. This is disappointing. I've disappointed even myself. I'm sorry, me.
Well, JL, good news for me and you. There's still time. That was a third person me, not a first person me.
I was going to say, I was just really quick. I'm a little bit curious how y'all feel about Najee Harris, because it seems like the Steelers offense is on a trajectory that's upward, but he has to be a piece of that. So, yeah, I mean, Dynasty, I'd probably stay away, but he could be one of those guys that just returns some good value for the next couple of years.
I feel like last season gave people just a lack of excitement, not necessarily the stink, but just like rinsed off all the excitement of Najee Harris. They put him under the sink. They took all the hype people had and they rinsed it all off. And now it's just a guy who's going to get 250 plus touches minimum, and we'll see what he does with it. Right. So like the excitement's gone and now it's just the volume sitting there, which I'm in on. I don't need the excitement. I just need the volume. So I'll draft Najee Harris where he's going. But Tim, the point you bring up, Dynasty, I've got no clue, man, because we've seen time and time again in the Steelers offense, they can just plug in the next guy. Know what I mean? They can just plug in the next running back. I don't have a lot of safety with Najee.
I mean, they just built an O-line, right? This draft was just Pittsburgh O-line central. So, I mean, that's their biggest problem that they had with him. So,
Jordan, where do you stand? Where do you stand on Najee?
I like Najee a lot. I think they did everything they could to help him and help Kenny Pickett, right? Like, they didn't have the offensive line. They brought in a tackle. They brought in a tight end that's the best run blocker in college football, probably better than some teams' tackles, right? A player that they discussed switching to tackle at Georgia. So, like, yeah, they're going to be just fine. And I think adding those two pieces can make a big difference, both for Najee and for Kenny. But, yeah, I mean, not Najee this year. I think, Tim, to your point about Dynasty, maybe not long-term, but I think for the years that he is on Pittsburgh and under contract, he will be very productive.
Sully down here saying Matt Canada is the devil.
That's a fact.
No disagreements from me here.
From two Canadians who said that.
And we got JL's mom in the chat coming in. Great participation, JL.
Thanks,
you get
Ma.
a trophy.
Thanks.
A participation trophy from your mother.
Why do I feel like one's about to show up in my background right now?
You see another. Wait, the box is gone.
I saw it.
It's gone. Yeah, I saw it too.
We're all only allowed to catch one instance of the box entering or leaving. Also, we got Scott Fish in the chat saying, "Hey guys, got a question for the show. Do you ever plan on doing pub trivia again? And if so, when?" Yeah, but you're not invited. So we'll let everyone else know. It's Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Everyone's allowed to come play except for Scott Fish. And Craig, it is Jurassic Park themed this coming Monday. So we've got Jurassic Park X Fantasy Football pub trivia coming your way on Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. All right, you guys ready to get into the final poll? We've got one more poll. Whoever's the closest is going to win this game, unless it's JL. JL, you have to get it exactly right, at which point you will win this game.
I got this.
You're still in it. You're still in it. It has happened before. Here is your final poll. Write down your answers whenever you've got them, and then we'll have one big reveal. Have you ever cried at work? Side A, hell yeah. Side B, nah. What percentage of people said, hell yeah, I've cried at work?
All right, 100 minus 5%. Was that 95?
Also, I see Craig said, Simon, please have a tiebreaker ready in case it's needed. I'll get one ready in case we need it. In case JL pulls out the closest one here, I will have a tiebreaker poll ready.
What?
So that's a good one. I got that tiebreaker poll. Maria in the chat saying, oh, hell yeah. I'm with you, Maria. I saw that poll and I was like, yep. Jail, you're muted. Jail, you're still muted. Not anymore. All right, you guys got your answers?
Hey, Jordan, does Ray ever make you cry at work?
Sometimes.
That checks out.
Checks out.
Heck
right,
yeah,
so,
he does.
Heck yeah.
I was going to say 3 of the 4 people here have already admitted to crying at work in the last 5 minutes. But go ahead and reveal your answers, guys. What did you say? 68% from JL.
Oh, man. Focus. 65%.
Oh, no. So we've got 65, 67, 68. Tim,
68.
you are in a shitty little sandwich right there with 65,
It's
67,
sandwich.
68.
I fear we just gave the game to Jordan.
Jordan, your guess was 65.
Yeah.
Tim, your guess was 67. Dale, your guess was 68. We had some answers in the chat as well. Sully coming in with 89%. Victor with 99%. Greg guessed 70%. And Sully said, I'm crying right now. Dame with 55%. Grim with 10%. Scampers with 69%. Ricky Butt saying 45. I think people won't admit it.
I think the people on Twitter will admit it, though.
I think they will.
Yeah, I think
The heck yeah swayed it for me.
Yeah.
Marty with 15 and Maria with 80. And
Also,
she thinks people definitely lie as well. It's actually 100.
I'm assuming this means crying because of work, right? And not like you got bad news while you were just at work.
I don't know. It just says,
Maybe
have you
both.
ever cried at work?
Could be both? Okay.
Could be both.
Because I think either way, you're crying at work. You know what I mean? Like, you're still sitting in your
Sure.
cubicle crying.
Someone's seeing you and wondering, is that because of work?
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, the actual percentage of people that said, hell yeah, I've cried at work was 57%. Jordan, you are going to be our champion today.
Let's
5
go.
points, a final score of 17
That's a
to
high.
12
That's a high
to 4.
score.
That is
Let's go.
a very high score. And Jordan, Craig will come in the chat and let you know in a moment, but that is your first fantasy football game show W. Congratulations,
Yes.
my
Well
man.
done.
Yeah, I don't think I got a single one wrong.
Jordan,
crazy.
anybody you'd like to
Huge.
thank?
Well, I'd like to thank the Dynasty community for always keeping me tapped in. Shout out Destination Devy's Patreon, patreon.com/allgas. You could join. You could be as smart as me in Dynasty. But yeah, that's about it. You know, I'm just happy to get my first win. Gonna stay humble though, because I'm probably like 1-4 in games. So gotta keep it humble. Gotta remind myself it's just the first of many, right? We're here for the first time. We're on the podium, but we gotta come back. We gotta get another dub. But I appreciate you guys for playing. JL, thanks for coming out. Tim, you did a great job. You gave me some competition.
Percentage points. Those
You did a great job.
You
You showed up, you put in the work, and you kicked JL's ass. Good job. Claps
You
for you.
absolutely did.
Good job. Good job.
Beautiful,
You
Jordan.
absolutely
Though I
did.
will say, I always thought Act Like You've Been There was a little bit overrated. What if you
100%.
haven't? It's sure as hell
100%.
exciting to be there for the first time. So
Like,
F
Yo-
off if you tell people to act like they've been there. Just
Jokic
let them
at
be
the
happy.
finals.
I've never been there.
I have been peeing my pants laughing watching every video of Jokic that's come up in the last 72
Thursday?
hours.
Yeah.
To go home.
It's like, fuck, I have to go home to Serbia.
You just won this. Where are you going? I want to go home, TBH.
Jordan's like, yeah, me too. Get me the hell off of this show.
No, never. Never.
Listen.
Craig in here confirming, saying 1 win, 4 losses, but who's counting?
Right. Just
Greg.
lose those old records. It's a new year, new me.
New Jordan, new record, 1-1. Jordan, that is going to be it for us today. And everybody watching, that's going to be it for us. A huge thanks to Jay Rich for coming and hanging out with us. If you are not already following our friend Jordan You need to fix that right now. He's on Twitter at your boy Jay Rich. You can find it in the description of this YouTube video, or you can just type it in and go follow him right now.
Check
After
out
you do,
Debbie too. Fantastic work over there.
Yes, sir. Damn right.
100%. It's an invaluable resource that'll give you an edge in Dynasty. That is going to be it for us today, though. Tim needs to go investigate the noise coming from somewhere in his apartment. I need to go investigate the noise coming somewhere from my butt, and JL just needs to generally investigate. We will be back Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Until then, though, adios, everyone. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you on another time.
We love you.
Happy Friday. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Maybe in a second.